How much does a parent have to pay in child support in Utah? What is the legally set amount? Well, some people believe that child support is the same for all parents. They believe that every parent who is ordered to pay child support pays the same amount of money per child. This is not how child support is calculated in most jurisdictions, and Utah is no exception. Child support is based upon several factors before it is calculated and ordered. Those factors are the incomes of both parents, the number of children there are to be supported, and the number of overnights that each parent spends with the child or children on an annual basis. Some other factors can affect child support calculations, such as whether a child has special needs, but generally child support is a factor of parent income and the number of overnights the children spend with each parent. Allow me to explain with this hypothetical example. John and Jane are the parents of 3 minor children. John's gross monthly income, we use gross monthly income, by the way, as the income figures for calculating monthly base child support obligations. Let's assume that John's income, gross monthly income, is $5,400 per month, and Jane's monthly gross income is $2,600 per month. To calculate child support in various custody situations, we are going to utilize the Utah State Office of Recovery Services Child Support Calculator. You can also use the formula in the Utah Code, but why not just use the calculator? I provided a link to that calculator in this video for your reference. But I'll show you the child support worksheets that the calculator generates in this video too. If the children spend an equal number of overnights with both parents on an annual basis, then child support looks like this, because it is calculated this way under Utah Code Section 30-3-35.2 sub 2, quote, 2D. Child support for the equal parent time schedule shall be consistent with Section 78B-12-208E1. A court shall determine which parent receives 182 overnights and which parent receives 183 overnights for parent time. 2. For the purpose of calculating child support under Section 78B-12-208, the amount of time to be spent with the parent who has the lower gross monthly income is considered 183 overnights, regardless of whether the parent receives 182 overnights or 183 overnights under subsection 2E1. If one parent has the children in his or her custody more or less than on an equal time basis, the calculation looks something like this. Next, I will show what a calculation based upon an equal physical custody award looks like by calculating child support based upon John spending less than 111 overnights with his children annually. In such a situation, we will treat John as what is known as the non-custodial parent. Non-custodial parent does not mean that John has lost all of his parental rights, but just that he does not have primary physical custody of the children. He has less custody time with the children than Jane does. The children are in his care and custody less than 111 overnights annually. Based upon John's spending less than 111 overnights with the children, the child support worksheet would look like this and would result in John's child support obligation being as follows. And there is yet another way to calculate child support in a split custody situation. That's a situation when there are multiple children and some live primarily with one parent, and some live primarily with the other. In other words, they don't spend time all together with one parent at a time. So let's assume in this scenario with John and Jane that 2 of the children live with John as the custodial parent, the primary custodial parent, and 1 of the children lives with Jane as the custodial parent, the primary custodial parent of that one child. This is how the child support calculation worksheet would look, and what the resulting child support obligations from each parent to the other would be. As you can see, on a split custody basis, even though each parent has custody of 1 or more children, it ultimately comes down to one parent's obligation being offset by what the other parent's obligation is. This is why John, in this scenario, pays $13 to Jane each month, even though Jane's obligation to John is $355 per month, because his obligation to Jane is $369 per month. So John's obligation to Jane of $369 or $369.08 is reduced by Jane's $355.94 monthly obligation to John, resulting in a difference of $13 when you round. Now the expenses I provided above are not the only ways child custody can be awarded, and thus not the only ways that child support can be calculated and awarded. But these examples are the most common that you'll see, so now you have an idea of what happens and what the child support calculations and obligations are in these situations.